Hi guys, welcome to the KlassPM and myself Mr. Bilal, and in this video we are going to talk about the Darwinism and the theory of the Darwinism. In the previous video we have discussed about evolution and pattern of the evolution, and we have also discussed about the Lamarckism. What is Lamarck's theory, what is the theory of use and disuse, and what is the theory of inheritance of acquired characters. In this video we will discuss first about the Darwin, who was Darwin, and what are the theories of the Darwin. So Darwin was actually born in the 1802 and he lived up to 1892. Darwin was actually a naturalist. Naturalist means who only worships nature. He loves the nature. And initially the initial life of Darwin was not that good. He was not like so-called a brilliant person, but he got an opportunity to join a ship. A ship was going somewhere and he got an opportunity actually to join that ship job for 5 years. What he has done in those 5 years, that changed the biology totally. Because when he got a job in the ship, and that was the point when he changed the biology forever. He started working upon the evolution. He was very interesting as he was naturalist. He began to know about the evolution, what is evolution, how evolution occurs. In his journey, he met an island. Those islands are called Galapagos Island, where he observed some birds are there with different color, big size, then feather color. He also observed some other organisms with different pattern, with different characters, with great variations. And he began to think that why in that island some species of the birds have long beak, some species of the birds have short beak, some species of birds have different feather color, why some woodpecks have a very long beak, why some woodpecks have very short beak. He began to analyze about this scenario, about these changes, about these variations. So he was very much interested in this, and so he began to collect some species as a specimen as well. He brought very important evidences during his journey, and he began to study about evolution. That is how he started his journey with the evolution. Darwin could not have completed his work, the theory of evolution, unless and until then another scientist called Alfred Russell was working upon the evolution. According to Darwin of natural selection, what Darwin said that during the course of the evolution, there are variations which exist among the individuals, and those organisms have capability to reproduce sexually, and variations exist among those organisms. And during the course of the time, these variations accumulate, and ultimately those variations which are favorable, those may remain, and those variations which are not helpful, those variations perish, and ultimately the nature decides who is fit and who is not fit. Those who are fit to the current environment, they can live, and other organisms who cannot tolerate, they perish out. There comes a term that survival of the fittest. Survival of fittest means that only a fit individual can survive. Organisms who are fit in every respect, who can tolerate high temperature, who can tolerate the low temperature, who can tolerate the changes which are occurring in the environment, those organisms can only survive which can tolerate those changes. So the concept given by the Darwin, the nut of the Darwin theory was actually that variations exist in the sexual reproducing organisms. In sexual reproducing organisms, there are variations which exist. And yes, we have seen in the sexual reproduction that variations exist during crossing over, during the recombination. The next argument of Darwin was, as the temperature changes or any environmental condition changes, and that organism tends to adapt itself according to the changing environment. It means that whatever would be the temperature, an organism will adapt itself according to that temperature, according to that changing environment. They have ability to adapt themselves in the changing environment. This was the logical argument of Darwin. So according to Darwin, there is the survival of the fittest. Survival of the fittest means that only highly evolved organisms survive and rest organisms become extinct. There is a common example of dinosaurs were there during the Jurassic period. During the early period, there were dinosaurs. But due to suddenly meteorite striking, in those conditions, the temperature became very high, temperature raised very high. There were other conditions in the environment, and those dinosaurs could not, resist. Those dinosaurs, they could not adapt themselves according to that changing environment, and in this way, they became extinct. This is the reason why most of the organisms have been extinct, and those organisms which are living in the current scenario, they are highly evolved. Like humans are very evolved, very highly evolved, adapt themselves in any environment, in any changing environment. This is evolution. This evolution is working. We are highly efficient. After millions of years, the humans would be as much as evolved, more evolved than us. They must be 10 to 20%, 80% more evolved than us. As the life goes, the then animal tends to evolve, organisms tends to evolve in a much better way. We have every facilities. We don't know after 1 million years what facilities would be there. Humans tend to evolve also. Each and every organism tend to evolve also. This is evolution. This is how evolution occurs. This goes exactly what Darwin has told, that there is a survival of the fittest, and there are variations. Variation exists among the individuals, and this is right. Variations exist. We may look like similar to the parents, but we are not, identical to the parents. We have variations, and we may have our offsprings. Those may look like us, but they have variations. They have difference. But if we see after millions of years, that offspring would be totally different from us, because of the fact that variations tend to accumulate, and due to these variations, there are different characters which you will find in that very offspring, and those will be highly evolved compared to us. This is about Darwinism, what Darwin has actually told, that there is the survival of the fittest, and there is origin of the species occurs based on the variation which are caused due to the sexual reproduction. And this is the reason why sexual reproduction is favored, because sexual reproduction causes variation, and variations, any organism who have variations, better chance to adapt themselves in the changing environment.